Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are. It's Wade T. Lightheart from the Prosperity Health Alliance, and tonight we've got a barn burner, or this morning if you're on the other side of the world, or this afternoon if you're right where you need to be. The bottom line is everybody's asking, Wade, how do I become a network marketing pro? How do I build a six-figure income? How do I go 6A, 6A2, -3, -4, whatever? Well, it's simple. It's not necessarily easy. But what's really important for you to understand is that there are only 7 skills that you need. 7 skills that you need to build an extraordinary Kangen business. And anyone can build these skills. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your education. It doesn't matter what part of the world you live in. It doesn't matter if you're male or you're female. It does not matter. It's the willingness to learn these skills, the willingness to go through a little bit of uncomfortability, and the willingness to stick to it and practice these principles. And once you do this, you have to understand, not only will you build an extraordinary Kangen business, you'll build an extraordinary lifestyle, but more important than that, you'll have the confidence to go out and do whatever it is that you want to do. The downside is if you don't build these skills, it's going to be very difficult for you. So get out your pens, your papers, your notebooks, shut down your phones, turn off the distractions. It's party time here at the Prosperity and Health Alliance. I am jacked for this. I'm excited about this. So let's get into it. Let's go. This presentation is about the 7 skills you need to build an extraordinary Kangen business. Listen, I want to be clear about something. Kangen water isn't the perfect network marketing business. It's just better. It's got a great product that everybody needs. It's good for your health. It's good for the environment, and it's good for your financial future. These 3 things are key to remember in every presentation. Hey, look, it's good for your health. It's good for the environment, and it's good for your financial future. The bottom line is this company offers tax incentives. You get to work your own hours. And we have a global distribution point with sales and service points all around the world. We can sell products virtually anywhere on the planet, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It pays great and it pays daily. Now, let's describe the perfect job. First, what do you want? What don't you want? And what do you want? Write those things in. Right? And I can't answer those questions for you, but you need to answer. So what do you want and what do you don't want? So let's look at blue collar and white collar sales and traditional business ownership. These things, you and investors, so the television, like the bottom line is, if you look at regular business, the old economy was work 40 hours a week for 4 years. Now it's the demonstrating people are working harder for less. If you look at the real purchasing power of your dollar, job security, pension plan, stability, jobs are the new risky. So this old 40-40 for 40, does that work anymore? Answer the question. Of course not. Everybody knows that. It's up. It's done. People, it's not coming back. Those days are gone. And that's not a bad thing. It's just the way it is. Here's what the new world economy is about. There is a new world economy. You're not competing on a local level like your grandparents did, and you're not competing on a provincial or state level like your parents did. You're not even competing on a national level. Business has gone global, and in the new world economy, it's performance-based. End of the line. The tracking systems, the performance-based systems, and anything that's not performing gets eaten up by the world of competition. Skilled subcontractors, outsourced, semi-skilled, white-collar things, online selling systems, all of these things are coming in and changing everything. The bottom line, automation, digitalization, and globalization is changing everything, the way everything is, because you don't need to be in any one place. Referral-based marketing, affiliates, and MLM are the future. Why? Because automation and systems built in place allows for that to grow. Now, what's unique about Enagic is that we actually build a machine that everybody needs. It's water. Everybody needs water. Water is a big issue. Water is a big problem, and we have a 40-plus-year-old company that has these points of sales, service, and distribution around the planet. That's called a moat. What that means is it's going to take another company decades to put the kind of infrastructure that Enagic has already in place. Now, here's the catch. Network marketing is better and more suited form of business in today's modern world, but the only catch is this. If you're new, you're getting started out, you're going to experience a temporary loss of social status from ignorant people. You're doing what? You're in that pyramid thing? You're in the network? You're going to get some of that stuff. Move on. Because those people are the ones screaming at the television for their government to do something for them. They're the ones on Facebook posting hate mail about the problems or people things. They are the victims of society. Okay? And the bottom line is they've got analysis paralysis, and they can tell you 50 million ways how something's going to work, and they want to blame everybody, and they're looking for some sort of justification for their position, and it's outdated. Bottom line are there are three types of people in network marketing. This is right out of Eric Warre's training, by the way, that we've converted over to Kangen. And that is, there's posers, there's amateurs, and they're pros. Pros, how do you become a pro? You work 4 hours a day for 7 years. You will make 100K if you do that. 75 to 150K a year is what economists have clarified as the minimum income for financial independence. I forgot about the regulatory stuff. By the way, there is no guarantee of results or performance or past things, blah, blah, blah. So all that legal stuff or whatever. But the bottom line is this. You work this 4 hours a day, 7 years, you're going to do really, really, really well. If you don't, you won't. It's just really that simple. And, you know, my job here as a trainer and my job here as a distributor and my commitment to you is to give you the facts, the straight up stuff, what you need to do, and encourage you to do that and to help provide that. That's why we created the Prosperity and Health Alliance. What are the skills that you need to know related to Enagic? Number one, learn about our products. We have water ionizers, we got shower ionizers, and we've got turmeric. We've got a few other little things, but those are the things that you really need to know. Know our products, all of the products. Know the ionizers, know the turmeric. Be a professional and provide the right product for your customer. Number two, learn the basics of our patented 8-point compensation plan and the 6A23 program. People want to know what's a good retirement program? 6A23. I've been on it now for a year. It's great. Believe me, you want to be part of it. You really want to be part of it. It's awesome. It's fantastic. It is just really something special. It's something you can transfer to your kids or your family members or whatever, and it's wonderful. I'm blown away every month. I get these checks, and I just feel grateful. I was in Enagic with a bunch of the 2-3s and up, and we're all in the same thing. We're just shocked and delighted, and we're happy to continue to work to spread this message. Third thing, your ability and skills determine your progress. Alvin Toffler wrote a book in the 70s called Future Shock, and people thought he was crazy when he wrote that book. In fact, he was conservative, and he said this: the illiterate of the future will not be those that cannot read and write. It will be those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Learn, unlearn, and relearn. Folks, we have learned a system that doesn't work. We all know that. We wouldn't be here tonight if we thought that what we were doing before was working. What I'm going to encourage you is you got to unlearn that. And recognize that a lot of people aren't willing to do that. They're still locked in a system of thinking and being and acting that will keep them in wherever they're at, hoping for something to change to a world that's already gone. People that go into education today are being prepared for a world that doesn't exist. Our job is to move quickly, to unlearn and relearn, okay? And that's the key component of this. Here's the 7 skills. Becoming successful in your business. Number one, you got to find people. Finding people. Look, posers create a mental list and talk to 3 or 4 people and they're done. Amateurs have a list of 100 people and charge forth with absolutely no skill or system and generally fail. Pros, learn the skill and find the new people. Harvey McKay, How to Swim with the Sharks, is a fantastic book on how to do that. So go out and read that. If you don't know how to find people and learn the skill, read that book. All right, let's dive into this a little bit deeper here. Skill number 1, finding people. Look, the bottom line is you need to get to the person on your list when you meet them and develop a creative way to keep them on their list. One of the ways to keep people plugged in is the PH Alliance website. That's for people who have signed in, who have joined. There's so many distributors that joined and fell off because they felt they didn't have training. You might want to start a social media group. Social media has kind of emerged, and a lot of times if you create a group, apparently social media loves these groups, but it allows you to communicate to that group regularly and to maximize your time. So if you got 20 or 30, say, hey, by the way, I got this group, and you can call it whatever you want to, Mothers for Millionaires, or Brothers for Billionaires, or, it doesn't matter what the name is, something that you like, something that means something to you, and say, hey, yeah, I got a social group that's meeting, and we're learning the economic practices of the new world economy. You want to join? And then you start marketing messages to that, and leveraging and finding out what they need, what they're looking for, right? You can get people on your EWS auto site, but automatically you want some sort of autoresponder or simple communication system that allows you to communicate to a lot of people quickly. For most of us, that's going to be Facebook, something like that. Or you can start creating a private list that you're communicating to off your email, but keep in mind, once you grow that past a certain level, you're going to need an autoresponder. Otherwise, you're getting to spam stuff. So when you meet somebody, what do you need? You need to get their name, their email, and their phone number, and their social media account, all those things. Get those 4 things, and then reach out to them and start the conversation. Do not just give them your business card and hope something's going to happen. I've got boxes and bags of business cards. I can't even remember most of the people. And even when I do remember them, I go, oh yeah, that was Mary. I should have called her. Next, I forget about it. You got to get their name. Send a personal message. And, if you have a verse for people who are advanced, you can get a VA to follow up or some kind of system. Send gifts every 3 months. Invite to an event. Bring them out to an event, a business or a product pitch. That's really what it comes down to. That's what your goal is. Okay? So finding prospects. Put everyone on the list. Build the list through everyone they know, right? So when you get a new prospect, what you want to do is you sit down with that prospect and you start helping them go through that list. Constantly expand your list, and ideally you want to add 2 people a day to your list. Add at least 2. So that means you got to add 15 people a week roughly, because an extra one. You always want to do a little bit extra. If you notice the greats, if you listen to the biographies of the greatest athletes out there, they're always like, Jerry Rice, yeah, he was the last guy on the field, first guy in the field. Wayne Gretzky, last guy to get off the ice, first guy to get on. Sidney Crosby, same thing. All the top people do it just a little bit extra every time. Be the extra 2%. Network on purpose. Get out and socialize. Look, this doesn't have to be drudgery. You can get out and have fun. Okay? And talk about those people, right? So here's the key. Inviting prospects to understand your product and opportunity. What is our product? It's enagic ionizers, turmeric, and our Anaspa system. Those are our products. Our opportunity is the 8-point compensation program in the direct sales industry that we have. So what you need to do is you need to build a relationship and learn how to offer value. Invite people to an event, a meeting, a one-on-one, a two-on-one, a group presentation, or an online meeting. That's your goal. And you got to invite people to review some kind of tool. So there's fast ways to do it. A lot of people right now that are having a lot of success in Enagic are going straight to the business right off the bat. The top earners do that. They say, hey, they go, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And you get them to say, hey, you know what? You keep your business options open? Yes, you do. Hey, I'd like to show you something. I want you to check out this video. You send them to the Kangen demo video, 20 minutes. I'm going to call you back in 30 minutes. Can you watch it right now? And they watch it, and then you come back and talk to them. Right there. Right? Go right for it. Don't get into, minus 300 and all this stuff, and pH levels and all that. You lost them. Go right for it. Try it. Get people to watch the tool. Financial independence. Here's the big key. There's some kids in there right now that are making $1 million a year in this business. Kids in their 20s. And here's why they are. Because financial independence comes from your ability to get in front of a large group of people, and to get them consistently to do a few simple things over an extended period of time. Financial independence comes from your ability to get a large group of people to consistently do a few simple things over an extended period of time. So, how do you do that? Number one, detach from the outcome. Just listen. No one person's going to make or break your business. No 10 people, no 20 people. The only person that can make or break your business is you. So be yourself. Don't try to be something you're not. Don't, if you're whatever, you don't need to be, you know, an ionization engineer. Just be you. Be real, as they say, whatever that means. And bring some passion. Talk about these products. Talk about the lives that are changing. Talk about the future. Talk about this industry. Talk about things that are going on, right? Take a strong posture and tell your story. You got to tell your story. And Eric Worre has a really great storytelling program, so I highly recommend you check that out. Okay, so here's the inviting people. 8 steps to inviting 6. Number 1, be in a hurry. Number 2, compliment the person. Number 3, make the invitation. And then number 4, if I blank, would you blank? And I'll talk about that in a minute. Get a confirmation and a time commitment. Confirm the time again, and then confirm again for the 3rd time and schedule the next call. Get off the phone. And you can do this on the phone. You can do it texting. If you do it by email, it's going to be a lot slower, but you can totally do that. So it's like, okay, hey, Kimmy, boy, I got to say, I just love the way that you work. I mean, you've got such a great work ethic. I really appreciate, working with you. Listen, I got a question for you. Do you keep your business options open? Are you looking to make more income on top of what you're currently doing? She goes, yeah, sure. I'm always open to that. And I say, okay, well, if I would send you this link to a video, would you watch it? And she goes, yeah. And I said, well, would you watch it? When could you watch it? Could you watch it tonight? And she goes, no, I'm busy tonight. Well, could you watch it tomorrow? What's tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow's Tuesday. Tuesday. Yeah, I could watch it Tuesday. What time do you think you could work it? Well, 7 o'clock. Okay, 7 o'clock. So tell you what, this video is 20 minutes. You're going to watch it tomorrow at 7 o'clock, right? Yes. Okay, great. At 7 o'clock or at 7:30, I'm going to give you a call because I want to go over some of the things you learned from that and ask you a few quick questions to see if this is a fit for you. Does that work? Yes. Great. I'm going to confirm. I'm going to talk to you Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Here's the link sent over to you. Look, I got to run, but I look forward to seeing you more tomorrow night, Tuesday night. Take care. Off the phone. That's the process. And you can take this script, take a picture of it, whatever you want to do. Put this script, and that's your process for inviting. That's it. Okay? You know the guy that does it best of anybody. I say Eli DeFesh is amazing at it. He's unbelievable. Anyways, skill number 2, inviting people. Be in a hurry. Compliment. Make the invitation. The direct approach is just ask a question. Have you ever? Right? Have you ever considered doing anything else to augment your income? Have you ever heard that health is the first wealth? Have you ever, whatever? Doesn't matter. Second one, direct one. Do you keep your career options open? That's one that Danny D. McCauley likes to use. Do you keep your career options open? Right? Or here's another one, right? Especially this isn't something when people love. I love this one. This is when people are commiserating. They're talking about their job they hate or the government they hate or whatever is going on and things not working and stuff. And you go, have you ever considered doing something else? And like, well, yeah, I know. I said, well, do you plan on doing what you're doing for the rest of your life? Because I don't know. It just sounds to me that you're not that happy. Do you keep your career options open? You can mix and match these. These 3 questions right here. This will open the lines up to a lot. And then shut up and listen, right? So I'm being tough tonight. Okay, I know, and I'm not going to apologize for it, but for the more sensitive types, it's not because I want to beat people up. I just want you to get clear about how easy this is once you let go of the outcome and you just go for it, right? You get real quick into things and you start asking questions. The indirect approach is you ask for help or guidance. Some people are more confident with that. Ask for input or guidance. Hey, you know what? And this is great if you're starting out presentations. You talk to your friends, you're a little nervous and say, hey, look, Mary, I just got started in this new business. And look, I don't know if it's for you or anything. I get that. But I'm going to be doing a presentation at my home on Tuesday. Or I'd like to do a presentation for you because I'd like to get your input or your guidance about how good it is. And I really trust you and that would be okay. Just like that. And most people, your friends, when you put yourself in a position of humility, they go, oh yeah, sure, you know what? Sure, I'd totally like to watch that. And then they'll get involved with it. They'll get more involved, and you can do that over and over again. If you want to get in super indirect approach, go to page 55 of the GoPro scripts. I think he's got some great ones. Let's talk about, whoops, I kind of that slides out of the way. So let's go back here. Skill number 2, inviting people. This one is, if I were you, is a good opener. You know, if I were you, I'd take a few minutes and check this out, right? Here's another one. If I gave you a DVD to watch, would you watch it? Today, I think you should use a link. If I gave you a CD or MP3, would you listen to it? So maybe the person's a DVD person, maybe they're MP3. These things are kind of going out of style. If I gave you a book or brochure, would you read it? I find some people are into this, but where people are really rocking is if I gave you a link to a webinar, would you attend? Or if I invited you to a special invite-only conference, would you attend? And usually this one, the conferences are usually bigger prospects. People make big decisions at conferences. Skill number 2, inviting people. Step 7, confirmation. You got to get the confirmation of the time. And when you get the confirmation of the time, like I did in the first one, so we know that they're going to confirm at 7 o'clock, and it's a 20-minute thing. I'm going to give them a call at 7:30 because I got to ask them a few questions afterwards, and I confirm. You're going to call. You're going to watch it at 7 o'clock, right? I'm going to call you at 7:30 Tuesday night, right? Beautiful. See you then. Right, and just it's going to take you a little bit of time, but keep these points right in front of you so when you're on the call, you know where you're going next. All right, step number 3. This is a problem that I had. This was a really big problem. This was a huge problem. This problem can kill you, and that's being what I call expertitis. It's an inflammation of the ego because you're so good at the presentation. I was world class at the presentation, world class. And nobody wanted to do the presentation because I want to do. I love the presentation, and I like presenting. I'm one of those people that like that. Not everybody does. But I was so deep of an expert, and I was flown all around to be the expert guidance on a lot of things. But what I noticed is the people that were flying me around and bringing me up to the thing, those are the guys that were making a lot more money than me. So here's the thing. Most people know that you might not be an expert. I was in a unique position, but if you're getting started out in this business and you don't have a background in health or science or chemistry or nutrition or, you know, MLM or whatever the hell the thing, most people you're going to expose it, they know you're not an expert. So you need to leverage an expert, right? Experts don't duplicate. I was not duplicatable. That was my problem. And I learned that. And I started learning how to be an expert on the business, not an expert on the product. And that's when my business exploded. So a pro never, ever, ever makes themselves the expert in network marketing because it doesn't matter what works. It matters what duplicates. It matters what duplicates. So don't present yourself as an expert. They just invite people to learn more about the product and read. That's what pros do. Pros bring passion, they bring enthusiasm, they bring excitement, and they bring belief. So your priority is to invite professionally and let the third-party resource do the rest. Use the webinar. That's what people are into. They don't have to go to a meeting. They don't have to go out anywhere. Or you go over to their house, whatever it happens to be, and watch it with them. That's how Bobby Gradelli built a multi-million-dollar business, by putting in a CD and bringing his machine and hooking up the machine and watching the CD with his people and filling up the water and handing it out. That's what he did. Steps to success. Develop a short, effective testimonial. The key is short and effective. 30 seconds. What's your background? Right? Okay, so my background is, I was an exercise physiologist and a bodybuilding champion, and I was always looking for ways to improve my recovery, my health, and my hydration and find antioxidants. The problem was that I was in an industry that was actually compromised your health and didn't really work, and there was a lot of companies out there that were not doing good things, and it was always tough, and people thought it was weird. But you know what? Someone introduced me to the water business. I was totally resistant. I thought it was a bunch of crap. I started drinking the water. It was absolutely amazing. It improved my recovery, improved my well-being. I used it with my clients at my clinic. I couldn't believe the results. They were getting the same results from the water that I was trying to get from putting them on diets for months and months and months. They were getting it in a couple of weeks just from drinking this water. I got so excited about it. I decided I would take the plunge, and I joined the company, and you know, it's been amazing. I feel so wonderful. I've been able to replace a six-figure income from my business in record time in my very first year, and it's continually grown ever since. And I'm so excited. I feel great about the future. I was just at an event. There was, 500 people in the room, all pumped up about this. The company's expanding globally. They just hit 20,000 machines a month. More people are coming on board left, right, and center. This is the most amazing thing ever. And, I think it'd be worthwhile taking a look at it. That's it. Wow. What is this? Right? All right. Skill number 3. By the way, if you can, I'm going back here. If you can master this, you are off to the races. So I'm jumping all around here. Okay. Master the presentation. You can go ahead and master the presentation, but if you can press play, you're great. You're done. You don't need to master that is mastering the presentation. Again, you get yourself out of the way, you can duplicate faster. Learn your story. You need to tell your story, and learn the standard opportunity presentation, whatever it is. You should know it heart by heart, and if you watch it enough times, it's kind of like the music on the radio. You get one of those, the chorus of a song that drives you crazy, but you still remember it because it's playing on every radio station and every grocery store and every department store they're in, and all of a sudden you find yourself humming it on the way home. You go, what am I doing? Exposures. And, learn different trainings. Learn what other people are doing, get great ideas. If you're a presenter and love that, you can do that. So the other thing is, when you're presenting your project or opportunity, there's a couple things you gotta do. Is remember, you're the messenger, not the message. You got to get yourself out of the way. You need to tell your story in a way that will make your prospects curious to hear more. Right? So that's important. Curiosity. Jordan Belfort calls it the tone of curiosity in his straight line persuasion. And then when it comes to presenting in front of a group of people, preparation is the key. When it's fun, you are prepared. I can go up in front of an audience of 1, 1,000, 10,000 with no notes, with no slides, and I'll have a great time when it comes to any of these topics. Why? Because I've done it enough times and prepared. And how do you do that? You go up and get prepared. You practice, you practice, you practice. You go over it, you listen to it, you watch it until you can say it heart by heart, until you start quoting this. Okay? Here's another one. The fortune is in the follow-up. Believe me. Really, first thing is, you got to do what you said you would do. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you set goals, there's nothing that erodes your credibility when you go, I'm going to rip this up, I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to do that stuff, and you don't. What does that say about you? It not only hurts the people around you, it really hurts you, because you can't fool yourself. As Danny would say, the first rule, first commandment is thou shalt not kid thyself. And then your word to your own self becomes cheaper. Another thing, be on time. Just be on time. Not everybody, even if you're not the type of person that really gets into time, you got to realize there's a lot of people who are really sticklers for time. If you're not on time, you're done. So be on time. And be on time in my world is 10 minutes early. Concept 2, the only reason to have an exposure is to set up the next exposure. You got to realize you're going to need a bunch of touches, 6 to 12 touches probably, in order to get that. So that's all you're looking to do, is get to the next exposure until they're ready to buy. Concept 3, just keep exposing them until they understand the project. You got to understand something, right? We're just helping people understand what we're talking about. If they're saying no, it's because they don't understand. Call or follow up if no schedule the next meeting or review the time. You got to call or follow up or text. Keep moving. If they ask yes, you can go. Some people say, what did you like best? And what do you like best? Instead of saying what do you like best, which did you like best, the product or the opportunity? And then your next presentation is going to be related to their interests. So ask questions. Pros always ask questions. Closing question. On a scale of 1 to 10, here's a great one I've used a lot. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being I'll never do this and 10 being you want to get started right now, where are you right now? So this is after you've done a few exposures. And they go, well, I'm a 6. Okay, great. What would it take to move you from a 6 to a 10? Well, I don't know. It'll take you that. Well, no, if I want to get you to a 10, what would it take? And they say, well, you know, if you could tell me about if I get this thing for $100 a month, I'd be interested. Well, great. If I was to show you ways through financing that you get this $100 a month, you'd be interested in purchasing the machine. Yeah, I would. That's reasonable. Okay, let me help you out here. And then you go to financing. That was just an example. So following up, pros, process for prosperity. What you want to do, I think sending a text, I think the 25 text program, sending out 25 messages a week, you can book them all in an hour and text them out and start those conversations. Next week you follow up, next week you follow up, you keep doing those 25 texts. You get an appointment, you watch the video, you join a conference call. You can get on one of the pitches or one of the conference calls. There's a lot of them within Nagic. If you go events, there's Eli, you can see all of them, Kangen One Info. Try the product, get on a webinar, get on a 3-way calling, whatever you want to just get them to. I mean, if you've got a new prospect or you want to leverage your upline, you connect them with the upline, connect them with the most valuable person, the person that can help. And here's the thing, you're going to get questions. First, how to handle questions and rejection. This takes practice. If you get defensive, it brings doubt in the prospect's mind. If you get offensive, it chases them away. Okay? So our goal is to educate and to understand. It's a really nice posture. It's a really nice posture. Okay? So how do you achieve this? How do you get understanding and everything? There's 2 main objectives. Number 1, prospects' belief in their ability. They aren't sure that they can be successful. What does that mean? Well, a lot of people when they get started, they say, oh, you know what? I totally see that you could do this way, but I could never do it like you. Oh, I hated that one. Oh, that one really got me. Oh, I could never be like you. You see, that's when I was in expertitis. That's when I had that infection. It was a terrible infection. Second objection is a limiting belief in network marketing. Hey, look, I don't know about this network marketing. I don't know if it'll help me achieve my goals in life. That's going to come up. So the secret is empathy. The best way to do it's the old feel, felt, found. You know what? I know how you feel. In fact, I felt the same way. And here's what I found. I found that this is an amazing company with an amazing product. And the value just is so incredible. And there's really no other way they could distribute it. And in today's world, what I've learned and what I've found is that this model actually makes more sense than the old retail model. Did you know that like half the retail stores are out of business right now that are going bankrupt in America right now? Did you know that Amazon sold more products than anyone else, than all of retail? Did you know that the world is going, that more and more people need water treatment systems? Yeah, this is what I found out. And that's why I'm sharing this with you, because, you know, I wouldn't want those feelings to get in the way of what I found. Stuff like that. Be empathetic. The words come out when you're empathetic. It's power. Power is an empathy. Prospects have a limiting belief in their ability. People just don't believe in themselves. And here's the excuses how you can tell when they come up. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. This isn't my thing. I'm not a salesperson. I don't know anyone. I'm too old. I'm too young. I have no experience. 86 and 87 and GoPro. This, when you get these lines, you have to look behind what they're saying. Okay? So when people give a story, I love this one. This is one I learned from Eric. I thought it was amazing because I used to get blown up on this one. I go, oh. They go, oh, that's network marketing? I go, yeah. Do you not like network marketing? And they go, no, that's a bunch of scam. I said, whoa, ooh, sounds like you have a story there. You want to tell me about that? And sure enough, they talk about the time they got $1,500 worth of soap in the basement, and they're still using it 25 years later. So you want to go, yes, this is network marketing. Do you have a story about it? I was out, so here's a funny story. I'll tell you a personal story. So couple weeks ago, a week ago, I guess it was, I was in Las Vegas after the Enagic event, and I was out with two really big internet marketers. And that, you know, it was so funny because, you know, they were talking about, well, where were you at? Where is it? I said, oh, I was just at Enagic's network marketing conference. It was amazing. And they're like, oh, really? And I said, yeah, in fact, you know, what was interesting is that I said, it's just how many people keep getting on board, and the company just broke sales records. And I said, you know what's really interesting? I said, there's so many guys in affiliate marketing that are kind of like they've been in it for a lot of years, and now they're just teaching courses of what they did 20 years ago, and it doesn't really work. But what these guys are doing have been working for so long, and now that we have the online world, it's actually growing exponentially, and the company just hit its record things this month. It's so exciting. I'm really pumped about it. Silence. They're just like, oh. Now, it felt good to be there and to be proud of what I do. I'm very proud of what I do. In fact, it's one of my greatest thrills to see people walk across the stage in our group and take those big checks, and to hang out with the friends that I've made and stuff like that. This is an extraordinary business, and you don't need to apologize to anybody. And how do you get around that? You go out to the events. You get out to the events. You plug into people's story. You hear the stories of like Roger and Sabine, and you see Cynthia Brigante going from a woman that was getting dirty diapers smacked across their face to making millions of dollars. You see Fred and Genevieve Brown that are putting these amazing events together, and people coming from all around the world. You see young kids like that Tiger kid that came up, and you know, he's going to make $1 million this year in this business. You know, it's pretty amazing. You hear the stories about people overcoming big challenges. You see the economic stories. You know, it's phenomenal. It's really phenomenal. So our goal is you got to help your prospects become your customers or your distributors. They go into two boats. They either want the product or they want a business. That's it. So education, understanding, and be prepared to have your sign-up stuff. Got to be ready. You got to be ready. That's really important. Okay? Help the prospects become distributors. Get emotionally, here's the thing. You got to get emotionally detached from the outcome. How do you do that? You get enough no's. You get enough no's, you stop worrying about it anymore. And then you assume that they're going to join. Hey, you mean you're not getting a water machine? Of course you're getting a water machine. Obviously, I haven't explained this to you. You don't understand the value of my product. And let me get back to that again, right? Another one is pros. They get into promote themselves, how they're going to go to the top, all that sort of stuff. That's a really key component. Really key. Always be prepared. Get ready to start on the spot. Get ready, have papers ready, go online, sign up right away. As soon as they're ready to sign up, shut up and start filling out the paperwork. Pros always ask questions and are great listeners, okay? And there's a great thing, I think, one of my friends, Stefan James, who runs Project Life Mastery. He's an amazing young man who's done a lot of things. By the way, he owns our technology. He has an act as if he has a morning ritual program, I think, that gets people in the right state. You want to get into the right mental state before you're calling or talking or asking questions. 4-point close. I love this. Eric taught me this at GoPro, and I wish I had learned it early on in my business. In fact, when I'm on a when I'm on a three-way call, someone brings me into a call, these are what the questions I ask. So first off, I don't take calls unless the product has been exposed to this person. Just so you guys know, I am available here and there. And I'm tough to get available, but because there's a lot of people who want to meet. I'm not saying that to be disrespectful, but the bottom line is when I do a three-way call or an in-person meeting for someone at a meeting, I go straight to this. These are the 4 questions I ask. Based on what you've just seen, if you were to get started with this company on a part-time basis, how much would you need to earn to make this worth your time? That's it. How much you need to earn. They're going to tell me the amount that they need. Next. Okay. So let's say they say, I need an extra $2,000 a month. Great. Okay. So how many hours a week do you think you could commit to develop that kind of income? And they go, I could do about 10 hours a week. I think I could legitimately do 10 hours a week. I'm like, okay, 10 hours a week. Okay, great. Then you go to the third question. Well, how many months would you work those kind of hours in order to be that kind of income? They go, oh, geez, I'd work 2 years. I think 2 years at 10 hours a week, that'd be great. If I could make $2,000 working 10 hours a week for 2 years, I'd totally do that. Okay, so then you come back. Here it is. So if I could show you how to make $2,000 a month working 10 hours a week, and you could do it within 2 years, would you be ready to get started? Now is when they're going to come up with the objection. Okay. Skill number 6, helping your distributor get starting right. After they sign up, you set up a game plan interview. You get on the phone. You say, hey, look, we got to get you hooked into things. Number 1, plug them into the Prosperity and Health Alliance. You're going to look like a genius. You're going to get emails and training even when you're not doing it. Number 2, you want to have regular check-ins, accountability meetings with that person. First thing you want to do is you want to validate the decision to become a distributor. I recommend setting up the machine if they're in a local environment with you, or going through the process with them to get them on board with the water. That's really, really important. Show them videos, do whatever you need to do to get them started. Validate, say, man, you made a great decision. I've had this product for 10 years. You're going to love it. You are going to absolutely, it's going to change your family's life. This is fantastic. Part 2, if you succeed, remember, you got to put the onus on you. Hey, look, it's going to be up to you, not to me. I'm here to guide you every step of the way. I'll work with you, but not for you. Okay? That's really, really key, because if you think that you're going to do everything for them, that's not duplicatable, because they're going to set that expectation for you. And I've made that mistake a few times. The bottom line is it's up to you. I can help you, and that's why I do this meeting every week. But you're the one that's got to do the events. You're the one that's got to do the meetings. You're the one that's got to grow the business. And recognize there's going to be ups and downs, right? You talk to them. Hey, look, there's going to be ups and downs. How do you want me to handle that? Do you want me to call you? Do you want me to be persistent, or do you want me to leave you alone? What's your type? And that's usually an introvert versus an extrovert. You'll get personality type. The bank formula, I think, is a good formula to go by. Next. How do you start them up? Make sure your distributors set up the proper products, whether it's the Health Success Center, EWS, PH Alliance, webinar codes. Make sure they got supply, saline, drops, an ORP meter if they're going to do webinars. And make sure they get connected to group meetings and webinars and conferences. Put them on Eli's, events as Eli's. Get them on Kangen One Info. Hook them up on the Prosperity and Health Alliance. Do Michelle Rayleigh's call. Do all of them. Find out where people are and get them integrated on it, okay? Make sure your distributor understands the basics of the comp plan, okay? So put the links in. Show them the links where the comp plan is and how it works. And we've got all that stuff covered for you, by the way, just so you know, and all this stuff. Your emails are going to come regularly through this process. That's why we created the Prosperity Alliance, because we wanted you to help our distributors get started and keep the information flowing even when you can't. Okay, that's our goal here. And it's open to everybody in Enagic, by the way. We do that for everybody. Make sure the new distributor has a fundamental understanding of how to properly invite new prospects. Take them through the inviting process. I think everybody should read GoPro over and over and over again until they memorize it or watch all the videos. Part 4. Here's what you need to do. You need to challenge people to do things quickly. You need to get the first customer, the first distributor, and book a company event. This is what you want, and you can help them do that. Let's get you a first customer. Let's get you a distributor. Let's get a company event going on. So know the events, know what's coming up, get in events, and look, events, people make big decisions, and people get boosted up. Everybody's going to get, your belief is directly correlated to the number of events that you do in a year. And people say, oh, no, I can do this. No, you need to get out to events. You know, I saw How many times, I can't tell you how many times I've had distributors that were doing good and they kind of fade it and they stop going to events, and guess what? They're gone. And then I have people that fade it and you get one of those people back out to an event and boom, they're recharged again. Social proof. It's social proof. You get in a room with 2, 3, 4, 500 people, 100 people, 200 people, 300 people, 30 people, whatever. You got social proof, and that makes people feel good. They feel safe. So let's make people feel safe. Next thing. Given an assignment with a deadline. Just like going back, hey, look, can you make a list of your top 25 people, and you and I will get on a call and start texting them? I'll text my 25, you text your 25, and we'll do it together this Monday night. Sound fair? Or let's meet up. Let's watch Danny D. McCauley together. I'm gonna come on over to the house. I'll pick you up. We'll sit around. We're gonna go over your business. We'll watch Danny, and we'll talk about what you're gonna do next. Do it once a month. Do the Kangen 1 info call. It's a great one. Skill number 7. We're coming to the 7th one. Here's the difference. Pros about the average. Look, Eric tells a great story about the company, and he said, he tells some great company, and I think you want to know the company background. You want to know the history of the people. You want to keep coming back to the events, because as soon as you're the person that comes to the most events, generally you're the one that is going to make the most money. That's the secret. Each time that you come to the big company year-end event or the big events, you got to realize half the room are new and half the room are there. The second time that you do it, twice the amount of people in the second room. And the third time, it's going to be 4 times as much as the third event. Eventually, you'll be the one making the most in the room, and you'll be on the stage. That's really the way it works. And anything worth doing takes the time. Look, your first year, you're just going to figure things out. 3 years, you can move to a significant, part-time income, and some people can go full-time. You can go full-time certainly by 5, and by 7, you can be an absolute pro. So 1, 3, 5, 7, right? 1 year to go competent and profitable, 3 years to go full-time, 5 years to become a 6-figure income earner, and 7 years to be an expert. And you know what? And magic isn't like most of these businesses. You can be a 6-figure earner in your very first year. I know a lot of people that's done it. I did it. And I know a lot of people on my team have done it. You can do it too. It's easier than you think. You know what's hard? Doing it the slow way. But think about that. 5 years to be an expert, 7 years, and realistically, 10 years. If you do this for 10 years, consistently doing this, you'll be a -3. -3. It's really good money. Now, remember, the duplication is the key to your success. Every action you take, you need to ask yourself, is this duplicatable? If it is, do it. If it's not, do something that is. Simple is better than complicated. Be an expert on the system, not an expert in the system. What do? You got to get plugged in. So every new distributor needs to go to the PH Alliance on the very first day. Get you plugged in, order the machine. You get you the site to order your machine. You get them set up on an EWS website and have them sign up on the PH Alliance webinars Monday night. Guess what? They got the machine. They've got a website, because people get locked into those websites in the world, right? They're getting messages from that. They got an autoresponder thing in there. They've got a book and everything. They're all set up with all that stuff online, so they look pro and they feel pro. And then we're going to help you train them every Monday night for those webinars, except on the first of the month when you do to Danny McCauley's, and they have that whole library. That whole library, if you haven't checked it out, we've got every video you could possibly want. Bottom line, you follow this, and I'm going to see you at the top.